Hey everyone, Elizabeth here. The Last Laugh delivers stories that leave you speechless. If you're here for it, hit subscribe and let's go.
The digital invitation arrived on a Tuesday morning. Elegant script. Professional photography of a pristine colonial in what I recognized as Riverside Estates, the most exclusive gated community in our city. My younger sister Victoria's face beamed next to her husband Marcus, both holding champagne flutes in front of their new home. New home celebration, the heading read. Join us for cocktails and hors d'oeuvres. Then at the bottom in slightly smaller font, dress code, country club elegant. Probably not your crowd. I stared at that last line. Not looking forward to seeing you. Not even a standard RSVP request. Just a preemptive dismissal wrapped in false politeness. My phone buzzed. The family group chat. Marcus's brother, Kevin, can't wait. Finally a family event at a house worthy of the family name. Mom, so proud of you both. That neighborhood is absolutely stunning. Dad, Marcus, your firm must be doing very well. Partner track paying off. Brother James, Victoria, FY. Marcus is a partner at Henderson and Cross, one of the top law firms downtown. Just so everyone knows what league we're talking about. Mom, James is right. This is a very different caliber than, well, let's just say we're moving up in the world. Nobody mentioned my name. Nobody asked if I was coming. The message was crystal clear. I typed 3 words, congratulations on the house. I didn't RSVP. I didn't ask about parking or time details. I simply acknowledged and muted the chat. I'd always been the family disappointment. Not because I'd failed, but because I'd refused to perform success their way. Victoria became a pharmaceutical sales rep at 23, married Marcus at 25, and had been climbing the social ladder ever since. Perfect Instagram aesthetic. Perfect networking events. Perfect country club connections. James worked in commercial real estate, drove a leased BMW, and never missed an opportunity to mention his high net worth clients. My parents ran a moderately successful insurance agency. Comfortable upper middle class. Obsessed with appearances. And then there was me, Emma. I'd graduated from state school with a degree in urban planning. While Victoria was posting engagement photos at Vineyard Estates, I was working for the city's housing authority making $42,000 a year. While James closed his first $1 million commercial lease, I was taking the bus to community meetings about affordable housing development. When are you going to get a real career? Dad asked at every family dinner. You're 28, Emma, Mom would sigh. Victoria was married with a house by your age. Still renting that studio apartment downtown? James would smirk. Must be nice not having any real responsibilities. They didn't know that I'd been investing every spare dollar since I was 22. They didn't know about the real estate investment trust I'd formed with 3 former classmates. They didn't know that my boring government job had introduced me to every major developer, zoning attorney, and city council member in the metro area. They didn't know that I'd spent 6 years quietly acquiring properties. Foreclosures. Estate sales. Tax lien auctions. Buildings nobody wanted in neighborhoods everyone had written off. By the time I was 26, I owned 14 rental properties. Small multiplexes. Mixed-use buildings. Nothing flashy. By 27 I'd syndicated my first major development deal, converting an abandoned warehouse district into microloft apartments. $8.3 million project. I owned 40% equity. By 28, right now, I owned or controlled 67 properties across the city. My portfolio was valued at $47 million. My annual net income was approximately $3.2 million. And I still took the bus to work. Still lived in my modest downtown studio. Still showed up to family events in simple clothes and let them make their assumptions. I wasn't hiding. I was watching. Testing. Seeing who in my family loved me for me, not for what I could provide. The answer consistently was nobody. My real estate company operated under an LLC with a deliberately generic name, Riverside Development Holdings. Not my personal name. Not anything traceable to me in casual conversation. My public role at the housing authority was real. I showed up. I did the work. I advocated for affordable housing policy. That part wasn't a cover. It was my passion. But after hours I was building an empire. 3 months before Victoria's housewarming invitation, I'd closed my largest acquisition yet, the entire Riverside Estates development. The original developer had overextended. The luxury housing market had softened. The bank wanted their loans repaid. I'd structured a deal with 2 institutional investors, acquired the remaining unsold inventory, and purchased the property management company that ran the HOA. 12 homes sold. 18 homes still in my inventory, including the entire prestigious Waterford Lane cul-de-sac. Victoria's new house? 2847 Waterford Lane. She'd purchased it from my company, through a standard real estate transaction with a buyer's agent. My holding company was listed on the closing documents, but just as Riverside Development Holdings, LLC. Victoria never connected it to me. Why would she? Her broke, bus-riding, apartment-dwelling sister couldn't possibly own anything, let alone an entire gated community. The week before the housewarming, the family group chat became increasingly pointed. Victoria, just a reminder. This Saturday 6 p.m. Valet parking available. Please dress appropriately. Mom, what's the dress code again, honey? Victoria, I said country club elegant. Think yacht club garden party. Marcus's senior partners are coming. James, translation. Don't show up looking like you just got off work at a nonprofit. Dad, James. James, what? I'm just saying. This is a big deal for Victoria. First impressions with Marcus's colleagues matter. Mom, he's not wrong. Victoria, have you confirmed Emma isn't coming? My name. Finally mentioned. And only to confirm my exclusion. Victoria, she didn't RSVP. I think she got the message. James, good. No offense, but her showing up in her thrift store clothes talking about bus routes would not be the vibe. Mom, Emma works very hard. Dad, at a job that pays $40,000 a year. Let's not pretend that's impressive. I watched the messages roll in. Each one a small cut. Death by 1,000 dismissals. I didn't respond. I simply opened my email and drafted a message to Catherine Mills, my property manager for Riverside Estates. Subject, housewarming event, 2847 Waterford Lane. Catherine, I'll be attending the event at 2847 Waterford Lane this Saturday as a guest. The homeowners are my family members, though they're unaware of my role with the property. Please do not disclose my ownership unless absolutely necessary. However, we have the quarterly HOA dues notice scheduled to go out Saturday morning. Please proceed as planned. Also, I need to discuss the proposed special assessment for the community gate repair. Let's plan to connect briefly during the event if needed. Best, Emma. Catherine replied within an hour. Understood. I'll be there for the scheduled walkthrough with the Hendersons at 2849. Let me know if you need anything. Saturday arrived. I spent the morning reviewing property reports and signing documents for a new acquisition in the warehouse district. At 4 p.m. I showered and dressed carefully. Not country club elegant. Not thrift store casual. Something in between. A simple navy dress, modest jewelry, comfortable flats. I wasn't trying to impress. I was simply showing up as myself. I drove my 8-year-old Honda Civic to Riverside Estates. The guard at the gate checked my ID against the guest list. Emma Richardson, guest of the Hendersons at 2847 Waterford Lane? That's correct. He waved me through. I parked on the street, not in the valet area but in a standard guest spot. I sat in my car for a moment watching well-dressed people arrive. Luxury SUVs. European sedans. Women in designer dresses and men in blazers. I texted Catherine, I'm here. Parked on Waterford. Keep your phone on. She replied, copy that. Currently at 2849. We'll head over around 6:30 for the Henderson introduction as discussed. I took a breath and walked toward my sister's house. The house was beautiful. Professionally landscaped. Elegant lighting. Catering staff circulating with champagne and appetizers. A string quartet playing on the back patio. Victoria and Marcus stood near the entrance, greeting guests. Marcus in a tailored suit. Victoria in a cream cocktail dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Back when I paid rent. I approached. Victoria saw me. Her smile froze. Emma came. The invitation said 6 p.m., I replied calmly. Marcus extended his hand automatically, then seemed to register who I was. Oh, Emma. Victoria's sister. Congratulations on the house, I said. It's beautiful. Victoria glanced around, clearly calculating whether my presence would be noticed by the important guests. Thank you. We're very blessed. Did you drive here? Marcus asked, his tone suggesting he couldn't imagine how I'd afforded the gas. I did. Well. Victoria's smile was tight. The bar's over there. Appetizers are circulating. Please, try not to. Victoria. Marcus touched her arm gently. A warning. I'm just saying. This is a professional event for me. These are important people. I understand, I said quietly. I moved into the house. Let them breathe. Let them return to their important guests. The interior was exactly as I'd expected from the model home. Hardwood floors. Crown molding. Chef's kitchen with marble countertops. Every detail designed to impress. I accepted a glass of sparkling water from a passing server and observed. Mom and Dad were holding court near the fireplace, talking to an older couple I recognized as Marcus's parents. James and his girlfriend were on the patio, laughing with a group that looked like young attorneys. Nobody acknowledged me. I was a ghost at my own sister's party in a house I technically owned. At 6:45, I saw Catherine enter through the front door. Professional blazer, tablet in hand, the bearing of someone who belonged. She spotted me immediately but gave no indication we knew each other. Victoria noticed her. Excuse me, can I help you? Catherine Mills, she said pleasantly, extending her business card. I'm the property manager for Riverside Estates. I apologize for interrupting your event, but I need to speak with the homeowner briefly about an urgent community matter. Marcus stepped forward. I'm Marcus Henderson. What's this about? There's been a scheduling conflict with the quarterly HOA meeting, and I need to discuss the special assessment proposal. It'll only take a moment. Special assessment? Marcus frowned. We just paid our HOA dues last month. Sir. These are additional fees being considered for community improvements. The gate system repair I mentioned in last week's email. I don't remember an email about gate repairs. Catherine pulled up her tablet. Sent to both homeowners on file. Mr. Henderson and... He paused, scrolling. Actually, there seems to be a discrepancy. The primary owner listed on our management system is Riverside Development Holdings, LLC. Are you the direct purchaser, or did you buy through the developer's inventory? We purchased through a real estate agent, Victoria said quickly. Standard transaction. Of course. Then the LLC is simply the seller entity. But I do need to speak with. Catherine looked up, scanning the room. Her eyes landed on me. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I need to speak with the woman who owns this entire street about her property management decisions. The room didn't go silent. Not immediately. But conversations faltered. Heads turned. Victoria laughed. Nervous. Confused. What are you talking about? Catherine walked directly to me. Ms. Richardson, I apologize for interrupting your family's event, but we have the Hendersons at 2849 requesting approval for their fence variance, and I need your signature before Monday. I set down my glass. That's fine, Catherine. We can handle it Monday morning. Ms. Richardson? Marcus repeated. Catherine looked between us, clearly realizing she just detonated something. I'm sorry. Are you not aware that Ms. Richardson owns Riverside Development Holdings? She's the primary owner of all remaining inventory in Riverside Estates, including the property management company. Victoria's face went pale. What? Emma is your property owner, Catherine said simply. The LLC that sold you this house is her company. That's impossible, James said from across the room. He'd been listening. Emma works for the city. She takes the bus. I do work for the city, I said calmly. And I do take the bus. I also own a real estate investment company. Dad pushed through the small crowd forming. Emma, what is she talking about? I turned to Catherine. Can you pull up the Waterford Lane ownership records? She handed me her tablet. I turned it to face my family. Riverside Development Holdings, LLC owns properties 2841, 2843, 2845, 2847, 2849, 2851 and 2853 Waterford Lane. That's this entire cul-de-sac. Victoria and Marcus purchased 2847 from my company 3 months ago for $1.2 million. I've owned it since I acquired the development last year. Marcus's face had gone from confused to pale. You're saying, you're my landlord's landlord? I'm saying I'm the developer. The HOA management company reports to me. The property services, the landscaping contracts, the community governance. I oversee all of it. But Mom couldn't finish the sentence. I'm what? I asked quietly. Poor. Unsuccessful. An embarrassment. Victoria found her voice. Came out strangled. You let us buy a house from you and didn't say anything? You didn't ask. You assumed I couldn't possibly afford to be in your neighborhood, so you didn't invite me to your housewarming. The invitation literally said, probably not your crowd. This is insane, James said. There's no way you own this entire street. You're lying. Catherine spoke up. I can provide the incorporation documents, property deeds, and LLC operating agreements if needed. Ms. Richardson is the managing member with 40% direct ownership and controlling interest through her investor partnerships. 40% of what? Dad demanded. Of Riverside Development Holdings, I said, which currently holds a real estate portfolio valued at approximately $47 million across the metro area. The number hung in the air. Marcus did the math first. 40% of $47 million is $18.8 million in direct equity, I finished. Plus annual income from rents, property management fees and development projects. Last year I personally cleared about $3.2 million after taxes and reinvestment. Mom sat down on the nearest chair. You're a millionaire, Victoria whispered. Several times over, I confirmed. And before you ask, yes, I still work at the housing authority. Yes, I still take the bus. Yes, I still live in my downtown studio. Because those are choices, not necessities. James's face had gone red. Why the hell would you hide this? I didn't hide it. I just didn't announce it. I wanted to see who in this family actually cared about me versus what I could provide them. That's manipulative, Victoria snapped. Is it? I looked around the room. You've spent years telling me I was a failure. That I was embarrassing. That I wasn't good enough for your events or your social circles. You literally uninvited me from this housewarming because you thought I'd lower the tone. We didn't uninvite you, Mom protested weakly. I pulled out my phone and read from the invitation, probably not your crowd. That was the message. Not we'd love to see you. Not, please come celebrate with us. Just a preemptive dismissal. Marcus looked like he was calculating something. The HOA dues notice we got this morning. The special assessment for $8,500 per household. Did you approve that? I did, I said. It's for necessary infrastructure repairs. The gate system is failing and the main water line needs replacing. It's in your HOA agreement. But you own half the street, Victoria said accusingly. You're charging yourself? I'm charging all homeowners equally, yes. That's how HOAs work. And I'm absorbing the cost for the 6 unsold properties I still own, which means I'm paying about $51,000 while you're paying $8,500. Catherine cleared her throat. Ms. Richardson, I should mention, the Riverside Estates annual gala is next month. As the primary stakeholder, you're expected to attend and possibly say a few words about the community vision. I'll be there, I said. Victoria made a sound between a laugh and a sob. This is insane. You've been playing poor while you're richer than all of us combined. I wasn't playing anything. I've been building a business while you've been building an image. Emma. Dad's voice was controlled, but I could hear the calculation in it. Why didn't you tell us? We could have helped. We could have invested with you. Could you? I met his eyes. Or would you have tried to control it? Take credit for it? Use it to upgrade your own lifestyle while still treating me like the family disappointment. Silence. That's what I thought. Marcus's phone rang. He answered it without taking his eyes off me. Hello? Yes, this is Marcus Henderson. His face changed. What? No, there must be a mistake. We closed 3 months ago. Pause. What do you mean the primary lien holder wants to discuss refinancing options? He lowered the phone. Looked at me. That's my mortgage broker. He says Riverside Development Holdings still holds a secondary lien on this property and wants to discuss terms. That's correct, I said. Your purchase was structured with seller financing for 20% of the value. You have a primary mortgage through your bank and a secondary note held by my company. It's all in your closing documents. You hold part of my mortgage? Victoria's voice was barely audible. $240,000 of it, yes. At 5.5% interest. You make your monthly payment to the bank, and they distribute the portions according to the lien structure. So we've been paying you, Marcus said slowly, every month without knowing it. You've been paying the entity that sold you the house, which is standard practice in seller finance transactions. James laughed bitterly. This is unbelievable. Our failure sister has been secretly rich and literally collecting rent from Victoria. I'm not collecting rent. I'm holding a mortgage note. There's a difference. Not to us, there isn't. I looked around the room. At the expensive catering. The designer decorations. The crystal champagne flutes. All of it designed to prove Victoria and Marcus belonged in this neighborhood. A neighborhood I owned. I'm going to leave, I said quietly. This is your housewarming, Victoria. I didn't come here to ruin it. Ruin it? She laughed high and strained. How can I possibly enjoy this house knowing you own the whole street? The same way you enjoyed it yesterday. Nothing has actually changed except your knowledge of it. Everything has changed. For you maybe. Not for me. I turned to Catherine. Send me the documents Monday. We'll handle the variance approval then. Yes, ma'am. I walked toward the door. The crowd of well-dressed guests parted. Some were whispering. Others were openly staring. Emma, wait. Mom's voice. I stopped but didn't turn around. We should talk about this. As a family. Should we? When have we ever actually talked as a family? You've spent years telling me who I'm not. I finally showed you who I am, and you're upset that I didn't perform my success the way you expected. That's not fair, Dad said. I turned to face them. Isn't it? You taught me that my worth to this family was measured in job titles, salaries, and social status. I built wealth quietly on my own terms because I knew if I told you, it would become about you. About what you could gain. About how you could leverage my success for your benefit. We're your family, James protested. Then act like it. Love me when I'm unsuccessful. Respect me when I'm not impressive. Invite me to events because you want me there, not because I might be useful. Victoria was crying now. Quiet tears that ruined her carefully applied makeup. I didn't know. I know you didn't. That was the point. I wanted to see if you could love your broke sister. You couldn't. You couldn't even invite her to your housewarming. I'm sorry. The words sounded genuine. But they also sounded like grief, not for hurting me but for losing access to what I'd built. I'll see you around the neighborhood, I said. I'm here every few weeks for property inspections. I walked out. My phone started ringing before I reached my car. James, we need to talk about investment opportunities. I declined the call. Mom, Emma, please. Can we have dinner? Just us. I declined the call. Dad, this is ridiculous. We're your parents. We deserve to understand what you've built. I declined the call. A text from Victoria. I'm sorry I didn't invite you properly. Can we start over? I didn't respond. Catherine called. I answered. Well, she said. That was dramatic. Sorry for putting you in that position. Are you kidding? That was the most satisfying client interaction I've had all year. Your sister's face when I said you owned the street. I laughed despite myself. Is the party still happening? Oh yes. Very awkwardly. About half the guests have left. Marcus is on the phone with his mortgage broker. Your brother tried to talk to me about investment opportunities. I told him I only discuss business with my actual client. Thank you. For what it's worth, Emma, what you've built is extraordinary. And the fact that you did it without leveraging your family name or connections. That's even more impressive. I just wanted to see if they loved me for me. And now you know. Now I know. I drove home to my modest studio apartment. Parked my Honda Civic in the designated spot. Took the elevator to the 4th floor. Inside, I opened my laptop and reviewed the week's property reports. 3 new lease agreements signed. 1 tenant maintenance request. A proposal from a developer interested in partnering on the warehouse district project. Thermal. Grounded. Boo. My phone buzzed with a call from an unknown number. I almost declined, then recognized the area code. This is Emma. Ms. Richardson, this is Troy Walsh from Metropolitan Business Journal. I'm calling because we've been researching real estate developers in the metro area, and your name keeps coming up. Would you be interested in being featured in our Rising Real Estate Titans series? I paused. How did you get my name? Public Property Records, LLC filings and industry contacts. You've assembled quite an impressive portfolio very quietly. We'd love to tell your story. I'm not sure I'm interested in publicity. I understand. But I should mention, several other developers and investors are already on the record praising your work. Your model of combining affordable housing advocacy with profitable development is getting attention. Who's praising my work? Catherine Mills from Riverside Property Management spoke very highly of your community development approach. So did the director of the Housing Authority. And interestingly, we got a call this afternoon from Marcus Henderson at Henderson & Cross. He wanted to make sure we knew about a rising real estate developer in his family. I closed my eyes. Of course Marcus did. Now that he knew, he wanted to take credit by association. Tell you what, I said. Send me the questions by email. I'll consider it. Thank you, Ms. Richardson. I think our readers would be very interested in how you've built this without any family money or connections. After he hung up, I sat in the quiet of my apartment. No family money. No connections. Just strategy, sacrifice, and 6 years of relentless work while everyone around me assumed I was failing. A text appeared in the family group chat. Victoria, I'm sorry. Truly. I was awful to you and I have no excuse. James, same. I was a judgmental ass. I'd like to make it right. Mom, Emma sweetheart, we're all so proud of you. Please let us celebrate with you properly. Dad, your mother's right. Family dinner next week? Bar treat. We want to hear everything. I stared at the messages. At the sudden warmth. The sudden pride. The sudden interest. All because now I was worth knowing. I typed one response. I appreciate that. I need some time. Then I muted the group chat again. 3 weeks later, I attended the Riverside Estates annual community gala as the primary stakeholder. I wore a simple black dress. Drove my Honda Civic. Arrived exactly on time. The event was held at the community clubhouse, a beautiful facility I'd renovated as part of the development acquisition. Victoria and Marcus were there. They approached cautiously. Emma, Victoria said. Thank you for coming. It's my community too. I know. I wanted to say again that I'm sorry. For everything. Marcus nodded. We both are. The way we treated you was inexcusable. I appreciate that. Is there any way we can, I don't know, start fresh? I looked at my younger sister. At the genuine regret in her eyes. At the discomfort of someone who'd realized their assumptions were completely wrong. Maybe, I said carefully. But it can't be transactional. I'm not a networking opportunity or an investment pipeline. I'm your sister. If you want a relationship with me, it has to be because you actually want me in your life, not because of what I've built. I do want you in my life, Victoria said quietly. The real you. The one I never bothered to actually know. Then we can try. Slowly. She nodded, relieved. The gala began. I gave a brief speech about the community vision. Affordable luxury, sustainable development, neighborhood integrity. Afterward, several residents approached me. Some wanted to thank me for the renovations. Others had questions about property values and future development. One elderly couple stopped me near the dessert table. You're the young woman who bought this development? The woman asked. I am. We were so worried when the original developer went bankrupt. We thought the whole community would fall apart. You saved our home values. I just saw potential where others saw problems, I said. Well, thank you. Truly. After they walked away, I felt a hand on my shoulder. Catherine. Good speech, she said. Thanks for not mentioning the housewarming incident. Professional discretion. He grinned. Although I will say, 3 of your neighbors asked me if you're taking investors for future projects. Are you serious? Dead serious. Turns out wealthy people love investing with someone who can actually deliver results. I shook my head, smiling. I'll think about it. On my way out, I passed Victoria again. She was talking to a group of neighbors, laughing at something someone said. He caught my eye. Smiled. Not the fake, performative smile from the housewarming. Something more genuine. Maybe we'd find our way back to being sisters. Maybe we wouldn't. But I'd proven what I needed to prove, to them and to myself. I didn't need their approval. I didn't need their recognition. I'd built something real, something valuable, something mine. And whether they celebrated it or dismissed it, the empire stood. I drove home in my 8-year-old Honda Civic, parked in my designated spot, and took the elevator to my modest studio apartment. Tomorrow, I'd review proposals for the new warehouse district project. I'd meet with investors about expanding into commercial development. I'd continue advocating for affordable housing policy at the city council meeting. And my family would finally see me, not as the disappointment, not as the embarrassment, but as exactly who I'd always been. Someone who measured success by impact, not image. Someone who built wealth quietly, strategically, and on her own terms. Someone who'd proven that the biggest mistake they ever made was assuming I'd always be small enough to dismiss. The realtor had arrived. The truth had been spoken. And I didn't need their validation anymore. I already had everything I'd built.